Hello, Solar Full Cycle. It's Sachith again from SFC. I hope all of you are having a great and energetic day. Before we start the VC, I want to tell you a few updates from this week. The first one is that we have signed agreements with a couple of solar installation and removal EPC companies from Sri Lanka, and we have planned another AMA with L-Bank community in this week as well. And also, we have conducted 2 online meetings with the Australian solar EPC company as well. So we are hoping to start the business very soon with them. And also, we will be having uh, a meeting with Japanese company that manufactures PV panels in here. As you guys suggested, we have proposed a SFC certification label for their brand new PV panels. So we are hoping to meet their chairman in this Thursday, which means tomorrow or Friday. And also, we are visiting one of the largest ground-mounted solar farms in Sri Lanka, hopefully this week. And we are proposing our end-of-cycle PV panel recycling program to their management. So I want to introduce my co-host Kumu. Hello, Kumu. How are you?
Hello, Sachith. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
And hello, everyone. Nice to meet you again. I'm Kumudini Bandara here from Solar Full Cycle. You can just call me Kumu. Hope you had a wonderful week. We hope to have the session today for about 40 to 45 minutes, and we have allocated about 20 minutes for our guest speaker. We will also give opportunity to the community to ask questions from our guest speaker after the interview. Without further ado, let me introduce our guest speaker for the day. We wish to welcome a very special scholar, renewable energy expert, and a practitioner who has been around the world installing renewable energy systems. His mission has been to do something positive proactively for global warming and climate change. After school and completing his education in Greece, he attended the University of Massachusetts in Boston for his doctorate, specializing in solar energy. We are so happy and privileged to have him today with us, our very own Dr. Stratos Soubassakis from Greece, to talk to you about solar full cycle.
Good evening, everyone.
Welcome.
Good evening,
Dr.
Doctor.
Stratos.
Good evening.
Welcome to the solar full cycle.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I hope that everybody in the solar full cycle family are doing well. I'm very happy to talk with you at this Ask Me Anything talk show. I am located in Athens, Greece. Athens is the capital of Greece, and I could dare to say of the Western Hemisphere, as here in this city, terms like philosophy, the sciences, etc., were established 2,500 years. And okay, so I suppose that I have to go on
Doctor. Thank you.
with myself.
Okay, okay, Doctor, how is the weather in Athens today?
Well, we have winter now, which means the temperatures drop to about 4-5 degrees centigrade, about 40 Fahrenheit. And the highest was about 50 Fahrenheit, 10, 11 degrees Celsius.
Okay, okay. Then how is the current situation about COVID-19?
Well, we are advised to be in-house when we come close to others to wear masks and do what we always have to do, to be clean and to not touch our faces and so on. People have to learn these things also. The situation
Yeah,
about COVID in Athens is not very in Greece and in Europe is not
yeah,
very good. We are losing fellow
yeah.
citizens.
Yeah, it's same here also. I think it's the same around the world. Now it has become a like world tradition, kind of not a world trend, right?
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
Okay. Okay,
For
then
example, my children that attend elementary school, they have to take test. We take test for them at home three times a week, and this is as long as there is no one with COVID in their class. Otherwise, we have to give them daily tests.
okay, doctor. Could you
Ah,
please tell
okay.
us more about yourself, just a little more about yourself?
About myself, well, I hold degrees in naval architecture from Greece. I got my aerospace engineering bachelor's from Boston University. My master's from University of Lowell in energy engineering. And this is the time that I met Dr. Priyantha. And I have a doctorate in mechanical engineering from University of Massachusetts. Okay, I met Dr. Priyantha while I was pursuing my master's in energy engineering with a specialty in solar. And so we were even classmates in some courses. Uh, After I got my master's in energy engineering, I got my doctorate in engineering, in mechanical engineering with specialty solar energy, and also business management. Uh, we were working under Professor Jose Martin, the brightest nuclear and solar engineer of Cuba, I might say, who has been advisor to several governments, including that of Spain and the United States. After teaching at several years in American universities and institutions like the University of Massachusetts, Tufts, Pilgrim Nuclear Station, etc., I was uh, I was sent by the European Union and by the Energy Policy Unit of the National Technical University of Athens to the state of Bulgaria, uh, when where I assisted them in preparing the state on the matters that I know in energy privatization, centralization of energy, etc., in order to get ready to enter the European Union. Uh, then I founded and directed the Regional Energy Center Bulgaria and organized the successful process from the inception to completion of more than 40 projects in energy, including, of course, rational use of energy, regional renewable energy sources, etc. Also with other universities and companies from Greece and Europe, we did other projects uh, exploring
Yes.
the possibilities and producing heat and other issues of energy by forest biomass.
Oh,
Uh,
that's great.
yes, yes, because what we found out is that if nobody takes care of the old or broken trees, etc., they rotten the healthy ones first, and second, the people they they go and they cut the tree that is closest to them, not that needs to be cut. So we arranged so that we were giving them heat, because then there the temperature drops down to minus 30 in the winter. So we did it like the whole city was into this. So the forests became healthier, and the people saved a lot of money because they did not need to burn oil or to cut healthy trees. Then seeing how China was progressing so that dynamically, I was a co-founder of the Eastern University of Science and Technology in Shandong province. That province has more than 100 million people, and it's the richest region of China. And we were the only private university that the Ministry of Education directed students to us who successfully participated in the university entrance examination.
Okay, doctor.
Then
okay, doctor. So when doctor,
yes, let me ask a question, doctor. Let's come back to renewable energy and in particularly in solar power. So, doctor, what are your specific work experience in solar energy?
Yeah. Besides of teaching, both in the States, in Europe, and in China, teaching special courses about what are the photovoltaics, how they are made, how they work, how we can combine them, how they can be productive, and so on. I organized the installation on small installations on 300 homes in Sri Lanka. This is 18 years ago that I came there, and I met with Dr. Briganta again. This project was financed by the Greek government. In that time, we were rich. And we had gone to the poorest region of Sri Lanka. Moneragala.
Yeah.
Moneragala, okay.
Yes, we went there, and we put photovoltaics on 300 huts, small homes, and also at some school, etc. Also in Greece, I assisted the government to pass to understand what is photovoltaics, because in that time, 20 years ago, they did not know photovoltaics. And the experts, it was some friend of mine from MIT and myself. So we talked to the ministers to tell them what they should think of, what to do, and how to proceed. Later, I designed 2 solar parks. From the inception to the selection of the site, of the systems, building, operating, and connecting to the public power corporation. So I did it, the whole thing, from zero to completion, and I sold them. And later I sold them.
That's wonderful, doctor.
Yeah. So, doctor, when does solar energy stand in Greek national energy policy in terms of Greece's contribution to combat global warming and climate change issues?
Yes. About the terms that you mentioned last, global warming, temperature rise, and all of that, those are ideas that Dr. Agni used to spread out throughout the world from the 70s through her organization, an NGO, Biopolitics International Organization, that now I am the president of it. And
Okay, then.
through that, we can assist our work of solar full cycle. Because she was the one that was going around informing the governments that we have to take care of certain issues, especially of energy. So Greece has started early, but then due to politics and other issues, we stopped because there were installations in the 70s. And then about 10, 15 years ago, especially after the Olympics, that the construction companies had to find some new things to do. They started working on windmills, solar, and so on.
All right, doctor. Yes. So yeah, I was just checking the network interruption. So let me get back. So, uh, doctor, we read in energy literature that solar energy is your second most important energy source. What is the first one?
Uh, well, oil, petroleum. Greece,
Okay. Okay.
Greece imports a lot of it. We do produce little now, although there are big uh, big resources of petroleum in Greece that they are thinking of digging and exploring it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so the largest, though, is
Oil drilling
is
or
is
oil well.
petroleum, which
Okay.
now has been much lower than it was 10, 15 years ago. Maybe not half, but we have dropped it down to two-thirds from what we were using 15 years ago. As far as for coal, Greece has a lot of coal. It's we have dropped it maybe to one fifth from what we were using 10 years ago.
Okay.
So the coal uh, producing the electricity production units using coal, they are closing one after the other. Natural gas is increasing. So I would say that the first one is the oil and the natural gas, which are mainly imported. And
Oh,
of course, the solar energy, the renewable energy sources, they are taking a very big advantage now due to the policies and the prices and so on.
Okay, doctor.
uh,
So,
okay.
what is the size of solar photovoltaic systems installed in Greece in terms of megawatts or gigawatts?
Gigawatt peak, they are 3.4 gigawatt.
Wow, that's a big number.
That Greece could be even bigger because we have a lot of sun. So it's financially viable, any project relative to that. So uh, lately, people are thinking to invest, and they do invest more and more.
Okay. Okay. Doctor, what are the main solar power plant types in Greece? Like as an example of ground mounted or floating
Yeah.
solars or rooftops, or what is the main one?
The main ones, of course, are the ground mounted. Mounted. Um what I had advised the minister is that we must not put photovoltaics on arable land, on land that can produces food. Uh, they have a law that on good production land, only 2% perfection can be utilized for photovoltaics, and the rest should remain for agricultural production. Also, I had advised that there should be no roofs without either green to put
Okay.
to make gardens on the roofs, or photovoltaics, one or the other, because it's environmentally
Friendly.
uh, friendly, because the houses can stay cooler in the summer, hotter in the winter,
Yeah.
and also they can produce either energy or food.
Oh,
So
that's
That's a good
interesting.
concept. Yes.
Yes,
That's
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 interesting. Yes.
and but the ratio I would say is 1 to 5. Uh, so there are much more land mounted, uh, and there are some that are on the mountain that nothing can grow, but which is very nice because it's also south facing, and so they have done some very good projects.
okay.
Okay, doctor.
Yes.
Okay, then that's interesting. Doctor, as per your experience and knowledge, when do you think the very first batch of installations come up for replacement after completing their 20 years of lifetime?
Well, as we know, the photovoltaics they degrade by some percentage, 2, 3, 5, 10. It depends on the technology. So they should be not financially viable, the old ones, I would say in Greece and in Europe, after 2030, because the installations were done 10, 15 years ago. So in another 5 to 10 years, they should be replaced. So I would say
Okay.
after 2010.
All right. All right. All right. So that will lead to ask this question. So, Doctor, can you tell us, are there any solar recycling policies in Greece, and are there any dedicated government agencies to do to do that?
Uh, well, first of all, for recycling itself, had to start with that. Being in the European Union, certain regulations have started, and there are no definitely there are no solar recycling units, uh,
Okay. Yeah.
but there are recyclers who take appliances, electrical or electronic stuff, and they recycle them and they forward their products. And
Okay.
I don't think that even in Europe there is any plan for such yet.
Okay. That's something
Yes.
interesting for us. I mean,
Yes.
we can start from there on.
Yes, of
Exactly,
Yes.
course.
exactly. And
Yeah.
I would say that since there are electronic and electrical recycling facilities
Yes.
uh, in Greece and also in every country around here, it's good to start from now. Now I'm going to your next question. So what can we do?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
Is
yeah.
yes. Yes,
Besides the
is
main
actually,
questions, I
why?
have yes.
Yeah.
Hold it. I have a small
Yes.
question for Dr. Stratos. Doctor, I mean, we with that answer you just gave us, I have a small question. I mean,
please?
how can SFC be helpful to set up policies and help governments to do the recycling, to ask governments to do move into the green path? I want to know if Dr. Stratos can help us with that.
Yes, because everyone is installing and no one is recycling. This is a common
Yeah,
situation across the world, not limited to Greece or any particular
Exactly.
region.
I
Exactly.
think with Solar Full Cycle, Dr. Stratos can initiate this program, isn't it, Doctor?
Exactly. And there are already some organizations, institutions, universities who ring a bell and they say, what are we going to do with all of that at the end?
Of
Now,
course.
the way we, we, we should think of going would
Yeah,
be first to make the proper connections with
yeah,
whom? With the facilities that they do recycling now on
yeah,
electronic and electrical equipment. So instead of being confronting them, instead of being rivals to them, to
yeah,
be
yeah.
their co-workers. So so we have to cooperate with them. Why?
Of
Because they
course.
are
Yeah,
established here. They have their trucks. They have everything. So
of course, Doctor. Yeah, yeah. I
so
think
this
I
is
think you can help us with that.
yes,
Yeah.
this is one.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the other one is that we should think of working on policy, on the politicians. For example,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
organization that I preside is called
yeah,
biopolitics, which means what politics we should have in order bios, which means life, to be
okay.
improved, to be secure and improved. And this is the way we do it is by informing the decision makers what will come out later, so they have to be ready for that. So
Yeah,
now,
So, Doctor,
yes,
yes, now actually, now it makes me a concern about uh, now since you said about the current situation in waste recycling, there's a problematic situation across the region, not only in the country.
yes,
Suppose there is a stockpile of solar panel coming from what was installed, say about 10 or 20 years ago. If so, are there any policies and regulations to support recycling? Are there any organizations pressing uh, pressing on recycling
governments.
of solar waste? Yeah, government regulations or any institutions.
as we know, most of the governments are running after the problem. They don't they don't regulate before the problem arrives. So the problem will arrive in 5 to 10 years.
Okay,
So
they're
that's why
reactive rather than proactive, right?
exactly. So now the solar full cycle cannot do much, or can do some things with organizations like biopolitics or by some unions, by with some institutions, in order to prepare the presentations to the policymakers, in order for them to show that, oh, I am smart, I thought of that before. Okay, good. The politicians thought about it. So they have to prepare the proper regulations, and we should be ready with our connections, contacts, and everything that is required in order to get the work when the situation arrives.
Okay. So, Doctor, let me ask you another question. I mean, how many solar and other electronic or electrical recycling facilities or factories in Greece? Are there none or there
There are
are?
there are many. There are many. There are,
Okay,
yes,
that's
there
good.
are many, and there are many in every country. Some years ago, uh, there were not, so they were sending them out. So
Okay.
nobody was having a profit. So some people start thinking, oh, I can have profit to get the appliances, the electronics, the electrical issues recycled. So this is how they have started, and they have started definitely because they had some relation with the matter, and also many of them, if not all of them, have been financed by state funds and also funds from the European Union.
Okay,
Okay.
doctor. Okay, doctor. Then, doctor, what is your idea about energy situation in neighboring countries? To be precise, in the Mediterranean region, countries such as Italy, Turkey, Spain, and yeah, any countries in your region?
Yes, Greece, as far as for population and extent of land, is small compared to the ones that we have mentioned: Italy, Spain, Turkey, Egypt. They are huge compared to Greece. Their population is 6, 7 times more. Greece has about 10 million people. Italy has 70. Turkey has 80. Spain has 60, 70. And Italy and Spain, they are very advanced in renewable energy, especially photovoltaic. They are doing systems, they are working uh, very precisely, and with their law support whoever thinks and invest in such issues. For example, in Italy, the estimated installations exceed, I don't know, maybe 30 gigawatt.
Wow.
Spain might be even more.
That's
Italy, no,
amazing.
Italy has 23, Spain 12 gigawatt.
Wow. Wow. That's a big number. I mean,
Yes. Now
that's an
Italian,
opportunities.
now Italians, what the Italians have done uh, when they found out that some panels were not worth of keeping, so they would replace them. Instead of dismantling them, they were promoting selling them to other countries, and
Do you
so
mean like after they used it, even without
exactly,
recycling, they are
exactly. Instead of
promoting them?
recycling, yes,
Okay.
this is not honest, but this is what they did. So instead of recycling,
Yes.
they smuggle them to other countries, like to Syria, a lot of them, and to
Okay.
some African countries. And there is a
Uh-huh.
problem now how they will face it, etc., etc.
Yes.
Instead of disposing them, they sold them. Uh,
Well,
but also they do have very good systems, and they are markets quite bigger than Greece. Italy, for Italy's PV market is I don't know, 6 times more.
I think we should introduce solar full cycle to Italians very soon. I mean, very soon. So
Yes, we have each country has its own mentality, which is also
yeah.
based on their laws, rules, and regulations. We should be very careful how and to whom we introduce some idea, because who knows, after someone gets the idea, they don't need us.
Okay.
So we
So
have to we have to do all these very thoughtfully.
yeah. So in each of these countries, are you aware whether there are enough laws, regulation, and facilities for solar panels and systems once they reach their end of service life?
Uh, there is no regulation in any of them. That's why they
Mhm.
can do whatever they feel like, whatever gives them more income. But eventually, especially Italy, Spain, etc., being members of the European Union, they should follow what European Union regulations dictates
Oh,
to the members to follow.
okay, that means they are not recycling, they are rather favorable for dumping, isn't it? Even though it's
Yes,
very it it is not eco-friendly.
yes,
They okay.
yes, and also another big problem, for example, is for the windmills. Now I go to another subject, but the windmills they have some material that can be recycled, but there are some other like the wings that turn around.
Mhm.
They cannot do anything with them, so they dig huge holes and they put them in
Wow.
because it is not worth it. This is carbon fibers,
Yeah.
and they cannot utilize them. So for now,
Yeah.
these are 30, 40, 100 meters long
Wow.
things, and they dump them in the ground. They dig huge holes and they put them in because they
Oh,
cannot
That's terrible,
utilize them.
doctor.
oh,
Yes,
Yeah.
that's even though yeah,
Yeah.
that's even though dumping is bad, they are still practicing that. There's a lot of things that SFC can do in this region, it
Yeah.
seems.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Of course. Of
Every
course.
region, in every region, because
Yeah.
what we are talking about, they are not regional; they are worldwide issues. For example, everywhere after the windmill is put down, some issues, some parts are recycled, and some others are dumped. Period. Everywhere, everywhere,
Oh, yeah.
because they cannot recycle.
Wow.
Okay, doctor. Then how did you come to know about SFC, Solar Full Cycle, and its
And
mission to regulate solar panels as a global player?
Well, in in the university that Dr. Priyantha and I went, uh,
Uh-huh.
it was one of the 7 universities that was giving degree in energy engineering. Not many universities are giving degrees in energy engineering. So through this, many connections are done. So, for example, the leader worldwide of solar thermal was a classmate and a friend of mine who was directing the solar thermal program of Australia, of Cyprus, of Spain, and so on. So he was a classmate of Dr. Trujanta and I,
Okay.
Manuel Blanco. Uh, so first we have the nucleus that is from the academia, from the university. So from
Mm-hmm.
this nucleus, I have met Dr. Priyantha, and that I met him again when I was in Sri Lanka for this little project for photovoltaics and homes.
Okay.
And so solar full cycle, further to just from the internet, I was introduced by Dr. Priyantha that we exchange often ideas on how we can improve not just our stand and our lives, but also the life of the people around us and the life of the earth,
Wow. Yeah.
the life of
But
everyone.
yes,
Of course. Of
solar full
course.
yeah, solar full cycle
Yeah.
is the
So.
brainchild of Dr. Priyantha. And Doctor, how do you see SFC's blockchain-based platform giving benefits to its members, our community? How can investors get more returns? What do you think about that?
That's a very good question. First of all, uh, the investor should look at the returns, definitely, but also on the side benefits. One is the financial, and the other is the side. For example, if solar full cycle is doing good work at a certain state, then money-wise, we can be positive or even equal, not make profit. But with the contacts that we could have, those could benefit a lot. And they could benefit either directly or indirectly.
Yeah, yeah. So, Dr. Stratos, what good can come out of SFC type operations once it is properly networked? What do you think about that, Doctor?
Well, besides the good name, it will have very good contacts, not only in the recycling, but also
Yeah,
in the production, also in the materials, because doing the recycling of certain electronics, like photovoltaics, etc., the solar full cycle will have a hand on specific materials which are very valuable, and also have the way these can be found either recycled or from the very beginning. So because things, as the things are traded, contacts are made. So this way, solar full cycle can dominate on some materials which are rare in industry, but are
yeah.
needed, and they are used a lot in photovoltaics or in other issues that we will work on inside.
I think with the recycling that we are planning, I mean the recycling process that we have planned, uh, we think there will be a big demand in the future for recycled solar panels, isn't it, Doctor? I think that will be a big one.
Exactly.
Yes, and SFC would be the pioneer and the
For
biggest
this,
player.
of course.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why I would like to congratulate Dr. Brillantha and all of you people, because you thought about it and you materialize it. And becoming pioneer means not only that I am there and I work on this issue alone and going strong, but being pioneer, we can find other issues that others have not seen, how things can go and how things can be utilized. Uh,
Exactly.
so working, for example, we talk about the PV, for example, today.
Yeah.
But I also threw another case, which are the carbon, which is from the windmills. With
Yeah. Yeah.
the amounts are humongous. Uh, so someone from our team or cooperating team or a colleague can seek or can find or can propose a solution for something else. So SFC can adapt it, can cooperate with it.
Yeah, yeah, actually, yes,
We
Doctor.
can
So,
expand.
Yes.
of
Okay,
course,
Doctor.
we are thinking of
Yeah.
expanding, but once we finish this network and
Yeah,
start in the
Yes.
this business and get good outcome out of it.
exactly.
So,
Yes.
yes, Kumudini.
Yes. Now, Doctor, now you have become a proud member of SFC family already. How do you plan to take SFC's work to Greece and neighboring countries? We saw a lot of opportunities, as you explained before. How do you, what's your plan to take SFC's work to Greece and neighboring countries in the Mediterranean region for the benefit of renewable energy industry?
Yeah. Well, as we have said, I am also a part of the Greek solar industry, president of the Biopolitics International Organization, and and I am working with a Greek technical chamber and other institutions. Through my contacts and our contacts, we will cultivate the idea that we can do better, and also that we can propose a financially viable project to utilize not just recycle the old photovoltaics. It depends on the case. Uh, Definitely, as we said, we need to come to contact with the proper people and organizations and institutions in order to promote our idea and also our capacity, because being international, we are going to be in Greece, in Italy, in Sri Lanka, in India, in China. So we have to show to them that we are international and we are good standing, and whoever is with us is going to be better. Definitely, as the thing will progress, we do need to visit neighboring states, including Spain, Italy, Egypt, Turkey, and so on. Of course, it, when the time comes, it will be good that maybe Dr. Priyanta or some other members can come and visit some states, definitely participate in conferences, exhibitions, which is very practical, exhibitions, conferences.
Actually, yes, doctor. We have actually planned to visit those Mediterranean countries with probably Dr. Priyanta, and obviously you will have to join with us. I mean, you're the person who can help us in this Mediterranean region.
And as we said before, instead of counteracting or competing with the other established recyclers, we should propose to them to become partners. What they can do better, they can do good, they will do it, and we will give them work. And what they cannot do, they can cooperate, so they can give it to us, and we'll proceed.
Of course, doctor. That's that. Actually, with recyclers and everyone, we are trying to build up a partnerships. I mean, not a competition. So that's
Exactly.
obviously correct. Correct, doctor. Yes. So, as the last question that I have planned, I mean, do you see you will have to lobby a lot amongst politicians, drafters of law, and the industry of institute uh, recycling of PV panels?
Well, this is I think the basic and a must. Without this, we cannot go far, because if we cannot do this, we will not be ready to grab the chance and take a big chunk of the cake. Okay, when it will come, it's better if we are among the ones who have proposed, who have advised, who have done groundwork in order to be able and ready on the proper time to get into the business and propose affiliates and ways and schemes. The schemes might be even from trucks that carry the stuff, companies and units that dismantle the, the stuff, financial schemes that all these will work, and trading of the raw materials. We have to have done it, and we have to know what the law is saying about each of these. And in order to do that, we have to say to the law makers how they have to do, how they have to work on issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's true, Doctor.
We thank our community for being with us, even with some technical issues. And now it's the opportunity for the community to talk to Dr. Stratos directly and ask any questions. Are there any members from the Mediterranean region listening today, joining us today? If you are, yeah, anyone who is interested in asking a question, this is your opportunity to sharpen your knowledge, ask the experts in the industry.
I think there will be actually we have investors in Mediterranean region. I just want to know if uh, they would reply right now. So let me check about the edit permissions.
I believe we have covered a lot of the vast area, majority of the areas concerned. But yet, if you have any questions, now it's time for you to get it cleared, get your knowledge sharpened.
Dr. Stratos, I
Yes.
think yes. So I want to thank you. I mean, thank you for educating us with your experience, with your knowledge, and all. So thank you again, Doctor.
I would like also to thank Dr. Brillantha for giving me the opportunity and opening this door of communication between SFC and myself, and each one
Yes, Doctor.
individual. You are doing a great job.
Actually, Doctor, I'm
Congratulations.
hoping. Yes, Doctor. Actually, I'm thinking of another. We can do another AMA session with you in a later time, within a week or two, once you are free, and we can come back to the group and we can discuss about the Mediterranean region and the opportunities that we have and how to approach them and all.
Yes, and we can find what are the prompt, the proper ways for each industry, for each country, for each group of people, because
Of,
each
of
one
course, Doctor.
thinks and does the business different.
So again, thank you, Dr. Stratos, for educating us with your knowledge, with your experience, and thank you again on behalf of our community as well. So before we wind up our VC, I'd like to remind our community that none of our SFC members will not DM you directly and ask for funds. And if you are not subscribed to our Twitter or announcement page on Telegram, please follow the links below and follow us. And make sure you are only following the original Solar Full Cycle. So I want to thank all of you, our sustainable investors in SFC, for supporting us and encouraging us to take this to the next level. Thank you very much. And Kumudini?
Yes, it was a wonderful session, isn't it, Sachith?
Of course, of course.
Yes, and I
I saw
believe,
I saw a lot of opportunities in Mediterranean region and Europe. I mean, of course, we are focusing on all the countries in the globe, but with Dr. Stratos, we can directly hit those countries. I mean, approach those countries and get results done as soon as possible. That
yes,
sort of thing.
yes, and of course, he can give us give our community. Dr. Stratos himself can give the updates to our community about our operations in that region
Of course,
in future
that's
sessions.
true. That's true.
Okay. Okay, I believe all the participants had a great experience today. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you very much for being with us, even with some technical issues. Until we meet again with another productive AMA session like this, be happy, care for the nature, and be safe. See you next time.
And Again, see you all of you in the next AM session.